What is going on, guys? Now, last night it was April 16th over here in the UK, and that's when the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie was released over here, and damn, they did Spider-Man justice. Holy crap, that it was literally, I'm saying it right at the beginning now, one of the best Spider-Man movies I've ever seen, and this is the non-spoilers review for this movie. Now, I'm going to be making another video going into spoilers and stuff like that later on, so keep an eye out for that. But anyway, let's get into this video. Now, I have a list here of what I'm going to talk about, just to give like ideas and stuff like this. So, jumping into the villains of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie, just to start off with, some people are like, oh, it's going to be another Spider-Man 3, it's going to have too many villains and stuff like this. No, the main protagonist is Electro. Green Goblin is more of like a villain that comes into it like throughout the movie to set up Spider-Man 3, like the Amazing Spider-Man 3. So he's just kind of there. He's part of the story, but it's more about Harry Osborn. It's not about Green Goblin until like further in the movie. But the main protagonist is Electro. And in terms of choosing Electro for a villain to be on the big screen was an absolutely phenomenal choice to Mark Webb for directing that as well. Because I was watching in 3D, and to watch Electro disappearing, reappearing, and just blasting through New York City in 3D was insane. Now, I can't think of a better villain they could have chosen, because Max Dillon, he's quite a vulnerable guy, nobody notices him, and you really feel sorry for him. They did a really good job of making you feel sympathy for the characters in the movie, and especially Max Dillon, because all he wanted to do was help him, and when he did become Electro, you kind of understood and accepted why he was becoming evil. It's because people were kind of being idiots towards him and stuff like this, and you just kind of, they really made you feel for the character, and I think Mark Webb did a fantastic job of doing that. Now, in terms of Rhino, I don't really think that we need to talk about him, because he's only in the movie for 4 minutes, so he's not really worth talking about, but he's in it at the beginning just as like a normal thug, just stealing like an Oscorp truck of plutonium, and they have some absolutely amazing Easter eggs in this. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but there's in one of the scenes near the beginning, it says plutonium truck on the side. Now, the plutonium has nothing to do with like the movie or anything like that. It's just kind of a crime, so it's not really a spoiler. But the background music is the Back to the Future theme tune. You know, because Spider-Man's like saving plutonium, and plutonium is for the DeLorean in Back to the Future. They have the actual theme like tune to Back to the Future. Oh, it was well good. And I don't know whether most people noticed that, but I pointed it out, and the other people were just like, oh yeah, sick. So keep an eye out for that, because that was so good to have in that movie. Now, going back to Harry Osborn and Green Goblin, when I said Green Goblin kind of just comes into it, I didn't mean like he was a throwaway villain or something like that. He is like another main villain, but the main story isn't on him, it's on Harry Osborn. And he kind of just becomes Green Goblin because he has to, type of thing. It's more like that, and he teams up with Electro just to help him, type of thing. So, yeah, that's kind of the reason why it's hard to explain, but hopefully when you guys see the movie, you'll understand. One thing I would like to add in, though, is that Green Goblin's laugh was incredible. Now, you think back to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man Green Goblin, and it was more like a ha 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 ha, whereas in this one, it's more like a psycho laugh, like a high-pitched ha 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 type of thing. It was, yeah, don't judge me on my Goblin in like impressions, okay? But yeah, it was just more like that. It was the laugh really put across that Green Goblin is a scary character, and I don't know, I never thought that they would make him laugh. I never thought they'd make Green Goblin laugh. I completely forgot that he has a psycho laugh. But they really put across that he is an insane psycho just through his laugh. He didn't even have to talk. His first impression of Green Goblin was the laugh, and straight away you was just like, this man is a psycho. Moving on to Gwen Stacy and Peter and their relationship throughout the movie and stuff like this. If you've seen The Amazing Spider-Man 1, which I assume you have, then you'll know that Captain George Stacy dies, and he says to Peter before he dies, stay away from Gwen. So that kind of comes back to haunt Peter a bit like that. Like, Peter's kind of going through a thing where he's not sure whether he should be with Gwen because it'll put her in danger, and this kind of affects Peter and Gwen's relationship throughout the movie, and they kind of build on that to develop more of their like character and their relationship throughout the movie. And I thought Gwen Stacy's performance was extremely well done. What I think they did really well about this though is that because you kind of felt like Spider-Man was putting her in danger, no matter when Peter was with her, you always felt like Gwen was going to be put in danger somehow. Like, they kind of gave that impression that yes, Captain George Stacy was right, Spider-Man does put Gwen in danger, but in this movie you kind of felt like whenever he was with her, something was going to happen to her. I don't know why, but yeah, that's how I felt anyway. It was just kind of that thing they put across. But I thought they did an excellent performance on this, and just them putting that like feeling across just shows how dangerous it is to be with Spider-Man, if you know what I mean. So that was just great. I'm saying this now just so that I don't forget later on, so that I remember to put it in the video, that the movie also builds up more on to the Amazing Spider-Man 2's like secrets and about Richard Parker, Mary Parker, and yes, the secrets do get answered. You do find out a bunch more stuff about Richard Parker and how Peter Parker got his powers and stuff like this, and just how the characters develop and why Richard Parker and Mary Parker died and how it all fits in together, and all this is absolutely fantastic. And I think this movie makes up for there being no secrets revealed in the first movie. They really did a good job on this, and it kind of put across that Richard Parker is a badass. Not even joking, he's cool. Now, anyway, yeah, moving on. Someone in the movie that didn't come across as strong as the first one, like you kind of didn't feel like their presence was there, it was Aunt May. She wasn't as strong in the movie, she didn't feel like she had much of a character, she kind of just felt like she was a helpless aunt type of thing. Like, I don't know, I think some of the scenes got cut out because some of the scenes in the movie, I mean in the trailers, aren't in the movie, so that might be the reason why, but it just felt like she didn't do as good as a job as the first one, and I don't know, I can't really remember any good scenes. She just kind of cried, kind of. Well, she didn't in the movie, but you know what I mean, it was more like that. She felt kind of like the movie could have still gone forwards without her being in it, if you know what I mean. It was dead weird, but yeah. Now going on to the swinging and the CGI and the 3D. Holy crap, the 3D with the CGI and the swinging, you had like a point of view of like the swinging where he was like under his arm type of thing, and you could see him shooting his web to the buildings, and oh my god, that mixed with the 3D was insane. I'm not even joking. The best 3D CGI, whatever you want to call it, it was incredible. Now, I can't really think of how they could pull this off again in another movie just to make it that good, but they even mixed in some slow motion with the CGI, and the swinging was absolutely phenomenal. I can't get over it. Like, you'll know when you go to see the movie, you get like a sense of like nausea and vertigo and stuff like this, and it really immerses you into the film, and I don't think any other movie could have done it better, just because of how, like, when he dropped, your stomach turned, it was stuff like that, it was so good. And also the humour in the movie, like, because we know that they're trying to get the movie to become more humorous, you know, similar to the comics where Spider-Man makes jokes. There is some absolutely fantastic scenes that just get put across Spider-Man's humour, especially because now he's Spider-Man, Peter Parker is a bit more confident in what he does and stuff like that, and it just leads him to be a bit more funny in his actions. He's a bit more lanky, he's a bit more like a kid when he's Spider-Man, like he doesn't care, he kind of just, like, he'll turn to like the villain and he'll go, 1 sec, I'll be back in a second, then he'll go back and do something and come back. It's that type of stuff. And there's a part where near the beginning he's like jumping onto a truck, and instead of like going straight in, he like knocks on the window and tells like Finger to wind his window down. It was absolutely brilliant. And if this Spider-Man movie didn't nail it, I'm pretty sure the next one would, because they clearly know what they're doing with the humour in this movie, because it had you laughing on the edge of your seat. It was absolutely incredible. One thing that I did have a problem with though is the ending. Now, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it kind of just felt like it ended, if you know what I mean. Like, I was sat there and I remember thinking when I was sat there, is this the end? Because I was sat there for quite a while and I was thinking, well, it must be near the end, but it didn't. It was one of the movies where it didn't feel like it was going to end, but you knew that it was just going to end like suddenly, like you wouldn't expect it. And I don't know, I was kind of disappointed with the ending. It kind of ended I wouldn't say on a cliffhanger, but it ended on a part that should have been finished. Like, they just kind of threw that in there at the last minute type of thing. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, like, below what you guys, like, thought of the ending of that movie when you go to see it. Like, come back to this video and let me know, because I kind of have mixed feelings about the ending about this. I don't know, it was really weird. It felt like they just threw something in there just to finish it, and right at that last scene, there was like, I don't know, there was more humour, but it was cheesy. It was dead corny. I don't know why. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about that final scene. But also another thing that I absolutely hated is they didn't have an after credit scene. What movie nowadays of Marvel doesn't have an after credit scene? Now, some people are saying, well, it's not exactly a Marvel movie because Spider-Man belongs to Sony, but in The Amazing Spider-Man 1 they had an after credit scene there, so why not have an after credit scene in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, hinting to Avengers 2 or another villain or something like that? I don't know, but yeah, it was kind of weird. Anyway, that is it for this video. Now, I will be making a spoilers review next, and I'm sorry if I'm kind of bad at the non-spoilers review, this video, because it's kind of hard not to go into spoilers, because most of the scenes represent certain things which I can't talk about. But anyway, hit the like button if you like my video, please hit the subscribe button if you want more, and of course, leave your comments in the comments section below. Let me know what you guys want to see in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie. What I've missed out. If you want to talk about anything, just leave it in the comments below, because usually I do reply. And yeah, my final verdict for this movie is a strong 8.5 out of 10. Mainly because I would give it a 10 out of 10, but the ending kind of just, I don't know, it kind of just pushed me away a little bit. But it is definitely worth an 8.5 or close to a 9 out of 10. So yeah. I am also going to the London Film Comic Con 2014 to meet Stan Lee and get his autograph and hopefully get a picture with him. It is on July 11th to July 13th in London, so if any of you guys are going, then you might see me there. I'm probably going to be stood in line for like 5 hours, but yeah. Again, hit the subscribe button for more, and of course, I will see you guys in my next video.